Hi everyone, and welcome to another class with me. So I was just thinking today, reflecting on what we've done so far, and I thought that, with things that have changed for us, we spent more time in the home, how we could actually make this more animated and how we can really enjoy some of the objects that we see around us with a little bit more fun. So I bought a new book not so long ago because I love really researching around drawing, and this one's called the Drawing Ideas book, and it's brilliant. I don't know if I've shown you this before. I think I've shown it you last time, but I definitely recommend it. Yeah, we did the quick portraits last time. So I thought what we'd start with is actually applying human characteristics to inanimate objects, so things that don't move, haven't got a life. So a vase, a light, a table, makeup, anything really that hasn't got a life. And I thought what was really nice of these drawings, and by Aga Gecko, and she's actually developed lots of little drawings with faces and personality and attitude, and I was thinking that while we're spending more and more time around the home, this would be perfect to explore. The other book that I'm going to be referencing today is another one of my favourites by a Japanese artist, Chika Mayata, and she does a lot of these series, how to draw almost anything, how to draw animals, and it's such a beautifully illustrated book. It's sectioned into nice little pieces, and they're only very simplified drawings. Look at that panda, how cute is that? They're only very simplified drawings, but I thought this would give me a good structure, because on one of the sections is around the house. So I thought we'd take some of her ideas, of her illustrations, but make them more interesting and add some faces and expressions to them. So let's see how we go. Okay, so all I'm using today is, I love these Beryl fine liner pens. They're great for drawing. They're not waterproof, but they are really useful. Just like a felt tip pen really, and just some paper. So if you're going to draw along with me, are you ready to get into it? So I'm just going to switch over. Hopefully you can see everything there. And before we start actually drawing objects, one thing that I really wanted to show was this little graph. So we've got two lines, we've got two pointed in, and we've got two pointed out. And then on this side, we've got a smiley face, we've got a shocked face, and we've got a frown. And this is a really great way to actually work on expressions when we are creating faces. And we're just going to match these up. So we've got these eyebrows. We're going to put two eyes, nose of your choice. I like to do a little N, or you could do a U or another line, and a smiley face. You got the eyebrows, another smiley face. And then we've got these ones. So you see the concept of it, and they give us lots of different expressions, but this is a great way to practice if you're not too sure. And you could mix it up and choose different things along each side. Ooh. And then our final one. It's not too impressed. He's definitely not impressed. Oh, they're definitely not impressed. And he looks really sad on the end. So these are our eyebrows. And these are our mouths. So when we're going into this now, when we're picking objects, think about this chart that we've used. Think about how we can add that to furniture and whether they're going to be cheeky, whether they're just going to be quite happy, whether they're going to be just like this guy's in love, maybe a little bit shocked, angry, fed up, sad. You know, how are they going to be? So let's get into it. I think what I'm going to choose to draw first is a coffee cup. First thing in the morning. So we think about the shapes and the handle on. And this character's going to be quite happy. I'm actually going to draw the eyes. Going to be quite sleepy, maybe a yawn. He's not had his coffee yet. And I want to add some details in. Or maybe some very sleepy cup of coffee. Maybe even a saucer there. And if you wanted to add a bit of colour, a couple of felt tip pens if you feel like that's what you want to do. Oh, don't worry about, you can choose natural or unnatural colours for it, unrealistic colours. You even add some little details to the cup, some pattern. And just decorate it as you like. It looks like almost like his hair. Maybe that's his ear. And when you really get into it, you can have lots of fun developing this idea. So we've got a sleepy cup of coffee or whatever it might be. Okay, so what we're going to move on to are how about some natural things? So how about a tree? So got the base. What I do is I just add in these little upside down V shapes and square shapes to add for the trunk. And carry on. Add in some branches. I'm going to do the face here, I think. And we don't have to, as I say, you know, think of particular characters, but we can adapt. This reminds me of the tree in Pocahontas, where she's very wise. You might want to make them look a little bit old, or about a really long nose. That's quite cute. And going to be a happy tree. You want to put some knots and some swirls in. Just makes all these objects look so much more joyous. You know, they've got some personality. I'd love you to. I think the tree's my favourite so far. I'd love you to tell me which one your favourite is. Just add a little bit of colour. Cool, so we've done the coffee cup, we've done our tree. What about a car? So a little bit trickier in design, but we can still do it. So what we want is our kind of an oval shape, square base. We want to add in wheel arches, square that off, like back, another wheel arch, go down, just about there at the back of the car. I think traditionally the eyes are always in the headlights, so that might be a good place. And they normally have a grill, don't they, or something at the front. Make that into a little smile. But you absolutely take your own artistic license with this. So you develop, you know, where you want your character to sit, what are they doing. I don't particularly want to draw anyone grumpy today. Add that window in. Window. Add the boot. Maybe the license plate. And these are just very, quick drawings. Maybe a little aerial. And then what could we do here? So we've got a bonnet. Maybe we could do the design so it looks like this spiky hair. And again, just think about those characteristics of people, what we have. And colour some of this in. This little purple colour. And these could be characters that you'll develop as part of a story. You always don't have to draw things that are actually alive. It reminds me very much of like Toy Story and, playing with things that come to life, which is really exciting. It should get your imagination flowing a little bit more. So we've got a lovely, and you can even name them, think about the journeys that they're going to go on, what's going to happen along that time. I'm going to draw, I think, again, going back to the kitchen, I'm going to draw a refrigerator. He's going to have a really big mouth because he's always hungry. And I might tilt down where you would normally close the door. This is all your imagination. Do I make that the mouth? Yeah. They're saying, feed me. There's the two handles. So really quick, fun ways to develop character ideas. I'll make it more 3D. And again, you can add tone, shading. And I quite like that way of drawing the nose. It's just like a little arrow, so as if that's the bridge of the nose. You even curl these up. Just have a little play with how you want to do that. And you can just add some shading in. Line shading. And colour this so it looks like his mouth. I could even have a tongue sticking out. Ready to eat. And colour that in red. I quite like artists that keep it to a really simple colour scheme. So maybe just one colour. That's great. I really am enjoying this. I think that it's such a great way to explore. Should we move on to a sofa? Couch. Now, how would we turn this into a person? What ideas have we got already? Here it's a two-seater. There's the arms. Join them up. And put some legs. Again, we can use this for the mouth maybe. And colour that in to show a little bit of depth. So we know it's pushing back. As soon as you put eyes on something, I just think it becomes really fun. Might want a little pinstripe design. And again, that could really start looking like the hair. I mean, you can even draw arms and legs on it if you like. Go one step further than just drawing on the face. Quite like using black as the colour as well. I use pinstripes, and you can decorate, like I say, however you like. That's like 2 big ears. More of a mouth shape. Got some eyelashes. You can even leave the nose off this one. It's quite cute. I'd love to see what you've come up with yourselves. We think of some objects that are quite familiar in the way that they look. So are these circles, are these squares? How do we look at that? And I like to think of things that we use quite often. One of my favourite paintings is by an artist called John Bratby, and he actually draws a toilet to celebrate these mundane objects that we maybe take for granted. So we've just got the system there. And the loo seat. Got a horseshoe shape. Oh, this is hilarious. And then maybe you could turn the bottom bit, the hole that goes into the drain, into some sort of tonsil. It's quite funny. Or about even adding some teeth designs. It's quite funny. And what about introducing some other characters? So it would be natural that the toilet's friend is the sink, and maybe we would put the eyes on top of the taps, where the taps are. Almost alien looking. I like how the shape of the sink almost forms the mouth. And we've got the plug. Maybe you could have, you've got the actual plug itself. Maybe that could be some sort of thing that it throws out to feel things and people. Add more detail. There's some eyebrows. They're not the most comprehensive drawings, but they are really fun to do. And I definitely recommend you having a go and finding something around the house that you might look at it in a different light. I think we should draw something big now. It's more about the house itself that we live in. This reminds me of that monster house. So you can start in pencil if you feel that that's more of a help. You can get rid of it if you make mistakes. But we're just getting some ideas together here. So we've got our first, and maybe we have one of these types of windows with a roof, its own little roof. And it's just about mapping where you want the different elements to be. Put our roof on here. After this, we could do a really small object. We could have the door as the mouth. Maybe it's two lights, two security lights over the door. The letterbox as it's turned up. And door knocker. It's not adding in more details. Maybe it's excited because the postman's coming. And again, you can spend hours on your drawings. Do maybe a little fence that goes either side. Path that goes down, like a little beard. Or flowers. But you pick your own way of doing this. I'm just wondering what thoughts are conjuring up for you. I think a couple more objects. What about a pair of scissors? Just looking at what's on my desk for some inspiration. You know, you can do daily drawings of this to really help you along with some of your practice. We've got the shape of the scissors. Just pop the eyes and see what this looks like. It's quite owl-like, maybe. Put some eyelashes on the top. Kind of the nose there, isn't it? Quite like that as it is, quite simple. What about a watch? So got a lovely round dial there. Maybe wear it on your wrist. Tells you doing a good job, you're having a good day. But not only is this giving you practice on how to draw objects, it's making you think about how to integrate human features, which is really good. That's cute. Let's just see a couple of the. Quite like that knife and fork, like a little family of objects. Knife. Oh, it's a bit thin. Little spoon. Draw a whole little dinner set. There's a naughty spoon. There's a sad fork.
And I have a worried looking knife. And you can even draw these on the negative as well. So if you're just choosing to use black for your outline as well as your colour, you just make the area a bit thicker and colour this in. And you've got to make sure that your shapes you draw are bigger than what you would normally. You can draw the negative. Quite interesting way to add some design. I always think it looks like you spent more time on it as well. Even that out a little bit. So you can even draw into the negative. Same face. It's quite cute. So we've done a few items from the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, we've done the sofa. We first did our grid of what faces, say, just by adding eyebrows and different style mouths. And I think you could expand on that grid and really give yourself a nice little reference as you're working. Keep looking back at. And let's do one final one. So, just looking through this to see what kind of strikes me. I think that'd be fun. Yeah. Quite small. See if you can tell what it is without me offering it up to you. This is always an area of arguing in the house. You can add lots of detail onto this. They come in different shapes and sizes. But what if you got a really naughty one that was constantly turning over the channel? Here are the 3 buttons. That could be like bit sensor. And like a circular bit. That's it. Yeah, question mark. Core button. Might want to colour them in and give it a little backstory and a name, like I say. Create your own characters and have fun doing it. Just gets you to think about objects around the home differently. Don't forget to refer back to some of the things that we did to help us. I think for me, the toilet is the funniest just because of the teeth. I don't want to get caught on that. Or the nose on the tree, I quite like. So don't forget to share with us your work at Neuro Champions, and I will see you all next week. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye.